can't anybody tell what is happening inside of you? What's the rationale for that?
Because it's inside of you. It's in your brain.
Well, you can talk about it.
Because it's in your subconsciousness.
Because it's emerging.
Emerging? Okay. It's in your subconscious, it's emerging. What else? Why is it difficult to understand what's happening inside of you?
Our experiences are so varied, and each of our own body, our mind, our emotions, our uniqueness, that it's so many different intersections
Yes.
that we can barely understand ourselves, much less convey any accuracy. or
Absolutely.
understanding.
Yes, yes. So what you're doing, what your behaviors are, what your tendencies are all a result of what all of you guys said. What is happening in your subconscious? What is happening inside of your health? You know, what has happened as a result of certain practices, yoga or otherwise? What are your habits? What are your tendencies? What are your diets, etc., 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 right? Okay? But you can write them all down. Write down everything. Show me all the diaries you have written from now until when you were a child and you were a baby. Will I know everything there is to know about you? No. Why? You mentioned subconscious.
Because the language is misleading. Once you put words to it, it's something else.
That is true. So she says that the language is misleading. Yes, yes. I face that limitation in English language all the time. Like, very few words, but many emotions. You know? So if you had 9 emotions and you were trying to impose what the word love meant for you through various emotions, you have no words to say. But in Sanskrit, there are lots of words. There are 12 words to describe sun. There are 19 words to describe moon. There are 14 words to describe wind. And so it is very contextual. You will not confuse the two because it will not make any sense. So yes, limitations of the choices of word. There is something else, and that is something that no laboratory will be able to create. And that is to understand and know that you are a product of not just your lifetime and what you wrote down and what your parents captured in Instagram from the day that you were born. It is much more than that. Because you are a residue, you are a product of your past lives. In Hinduism or in Tantric philosophy, they call it reincarnation. It is the accumulation of the karmic merits. The accumulation of the karmic merits is very unique to you and you alone. If you think that genetic makeup is unique, this is much, much more unique, because at least in genetic makeup, you have resemblances with your parents. But in karmic tendencies, you are so unique that nothing can possibly recreate that. Nothing can possibly recreate that. What is karmic accumulation of merits under the realm of reincarnation? It is simply the following. It is complex, but I'm trying to simplify this. What it means is that you are a byproduct as a result of your past lives. Okay? Not only that, every interaction that you have ever had with anything, any being, not being as in human being, but any being as in any soul, any spirit, anything that has life in it, you are a byproduct of all of those interactions. Okay? It becomes fairly complex fairly fast. Let's take this lifetime as an example. And I apologize if you have heard this kind of analogy before. So think about what got you here today, now. Yeah? Think about all the things that needed to happen starting Mother's Day today in order for you to make today happen. All the red lights and green lights at every single intersection, all the grocery shopping and talking and making time, etc. Okay? Now think about what happened yesterday to make today possible. Okay? Now think about all the interactions you had over the course of the last year that might have brought you to this one circumstance, as a result of which you went to a yoga class, as a result of which you were drawn to yoga, as a result of which you landed in Putin, as a result of which you landed in Hot Yoga for Life, as a result of you heard about this Dharma talk, as a result of which, even though I was taking class in Beaverton, I had to rush back to give you this Dharma talk. So all the coincidences that needed to happen in order for you to be here. And I'm talking only about 1 year. So think about all the things that needed to happen from the time that you were born in order for you to be who you are today at the place that you are today. Okay? So that's just this lifetime. Now think about why were you born under the circumstances and the conditions under the parents, as a result of which you were born under the circumstances with your parents as you were. Why in this society? Why in this place? Why with these tendencies? Why are there twins that are born, but one grows up to be a spiritual leader, the other one grows up to go to prison and spend the rest of his life, responding to parole officers' requests? Why? They had exact, identical life circumstances, identical beginnings, right? So there has to be something, some tendencies that we bring that is not visible as a result of this lifetime. How is somebody who is 5 years old, you set them in front of a piano, they play Mozart like you have never heard before, and it brings tears to your eyes? How is that possible? Okay? If we are the sum total of our experiences in this lifetime, then how come I have instinct and intuition to behave in certain natural ways that I could not have learned because simply I have never been under those circumstances to gain life experiences? Okay? So I'm not saying that what tantric philosophy says you have to absolutely believe that is the be all end all. But what it does is puts the scientific mind and raises questions and curiosities about what we see and what we cannot see. Okay? So understand that the life experience that you have, the subconscious, even the subconscious that you have, if it is a byproduct of your experiences in this life, it has limitations. Because you cannot possibly understand what happened before. You are a result of the interactions in this lifetime. But your experiences says that you are more than the interactions in this lifetime. So if I don't understand my sample size, how can I produce a result, a scientific study and a result? I don't have the basis for the sample size. I have to know the demographics, particularly when we're talking about yoga. Does that make sense? Yeah? Because in every study you have to say, I sampled 100 people of the age group blah and blah, with their experiences blah and blah, and household income as this and this, and education level this and this. So everything has to be finite. So how do you create that finite state when individuals don't know what finite is for them? Okay? So therein lies my point number 4, as to why the question of scientific research to understand and validate yoga and yogic experiences is filled with fallacy. Make sense? You're with me so far? Okay. So you're a product of your past lives, if there is such a thing. Of your interactions in past lives, if there is such a thing. Okay. So let's give that a chance for a second. Yeah?